And welcome back to the show. This week, we're talking about the nice guys and stuff.
Steve, you silly goose. Don't say and stuff. Just say we're talking about nice guys.
All right, it's the nice guys. I'm Steve.
I'm Danielle.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Charles.
And this is Every Film in the Book. We did it. We survived.
We survived, and it wasn't that hard.
Yeah,
all
no.
you really had to do was say it.
Yeah,
you just had to say it.
all I had to do was get it out there.
Yeah.
All right, now do it 6 more times.
Dude, I have
6
maybe
more.
4 more in me, tops.
I'm not
6.
doing it 6 times.
Yeah, no, Charles has time.
This is a one and done thing.
Yeah. Listen, Charles came
Yeah, we
an
know,
hour and a
we
half
know.
to get here, all right? We're not going to make him say it 6 more times.
5.
All right, maybe 5 more.
5 more.
Oh.
I thought I had to sneeze.
Oh, no.
No, do it. Sneeze into the mic.
It's got
No.
that
Sneeze.
I'm
Do
trying
it.
to- I'm gonna
Do it.
hold it. I'm holding it in.
But yeah, welcome to the show, everybody. If you haven't noticed, we have a 4th voice coming through your glorious speakers this week.
Hi.
Hi. What's your name? I mean, you already announced it, but tell me again, just because I forgot.
Well, in case you forget, my name's Charles. I am your brother.
Yeah, you are my brother.
Yep.
It's weird. It's like looking in a mirror.
It's very weird.
Across the table here.
Not quite. not quite.
Not quite.
Not quite at all.
Let's be real.
They look nothing alike.
Great. Thanks.
Thank
Gotta be
you.
honest.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I'm
Danny.
glad somebody said it. Somebody needed to say it, and it was said.
Yeah.
So now we can start the show.
Okay, great. No, so thank you for inviting me onto the show again. This is my 2nd appearance on the Every Film in the Book podcast.
Michael's
and
very happy to have you back.
Yeah.
Michael's really happy. I can see the glisten.
This is my serious
the
face.
glitter in
Yeah.
his eyes as he stares across
Now,
the table.
Yeah.
Charles, you picked this movie for us this week.
I did.
Any
I picked it
particular
again.
reason you picked this one?
There's many reasons why I picked this film.
So list them all.
List them all right
All of them.
now.
Do
in
it quickly.
alphabetical order.
Do it
Shit.
quickly.
I didn't do my notes in alphabetical order, so this is gonna be tough.
Listen, our listeners expect a very quick and concise podcast. All right, let's get it.
Okay,
In
so we're
order.
getting to the point. Pretty much, the reason I picked this film today is it was just a really good film in general, like a solid film where it mixes a story and comedy, and the humor is so dry. I remember, we were watching the film just a few minutes ago, and I was like, I fucking love how dry the humor
Yeah,
is in this
seriously.
film. And it just I understand it. I understand where this film comes from,
Right.
the delivery, the characters. It's all just fantastic. So highly recommend it.
Yeah, no, seriously. I still think my favorite memory with this is that plane back from Italy.
Yes.
I think we ruined that flight for a lot of people. Just laughing, drunk off of wine.
A lot of people, they were like, you can get as many refills as you want. And we're like, okay,
We're gonna-
challenge accepted.
Keep
We are-
them coming.
We are going to abuse that stewardess button.
Yeah. She's like, do you want more wine? And we're like, absolutely.
Was that a question?
But it really was. So what was interesting is I think you hadn't seen The Nice Guys when we saw it on the plane.
Yeah, that was
right?
my first time.
Right. So that was my second
My
time. seeing it.
first time was on a plane, too.
Yeah, the Mile High Club. So pretty much what happened was, I had seen the film. I just kind of stumbled upon it by accident. It's Russell Crowe,
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling. You got 2 dreamboats in this film.
Dreamboat.
Exactly how I would
Absolute
describe them.
studs.
Yeah. A great pairing. You're like, this has great casting, so why not just watch it?
Yeah.
They pull you in pretty quick. You're like, what's The Nice Guys mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, within the first couple minutes, there's a car going through a house. So, I mean, that kind of drew me in. It's not often you see a movie start like that.
And Michael also mentioned that he didn't remember so much nudity in the film, and I was like, you know what? Same.
Yeah, didn't remember that much exposure.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Well, it's who directed this? I think it was Shane Black. And for those of you who know, he was in the first Predator.
Oh.
In the first
Can we
Predator.
get a little
Oh,
bit more
wow.
context?
Yeah, he said a lot of pussy jokes. And,
So
he
it's
was
a
very
theme.
cruel.
It's a reoccurring
Yes.
theme with this guy.
Yeah, well, yeah, like he was like the dorky guy who like tried to make oh my god, what is his name? Benny like laugh the entire time, and he couldn't, and then he gets like a laser blast through the chest.
Yeah. He gets hammered.
Yeah, he gets utterly destroyed.
We're
in
actually
Predator.
kind of happy about it.
Yeah,
We're all very
We're all
excited.
very excited.
yeah. His character was kind of annoying. He took away screen
Yeah.
time from Arnold. Come on, you can't do
Wait,
that.
so he directed this film?
Yes, he did.
Amazing.
He also directed the new Predator movie too. It's called
Prey?
like The Predator, I think, like
so
that
it's
newest
just,
one.
I think it's just Predator.
Is it just called? No,
I
like
think so.
oh yeah.
Well, I don't know anymore because there's so many new Predator films.
Yeah, I
There's
can't keep
Prey, there's The Predator, there's
The Predators.
Predators, like where there's plurals in here. I don't know
Predatory
anything anymore.
lenders.
There's only 11 of them.
There's only 11 Predator movies.
There's only 11 or something.
That just came
like
out
that.
within the last 2 years. You're like, shit, which new one was it?
Yeah.
Stop making Predators without Arnold. I can't keep up.
Don't know anymore.
No,
Don't know.
we're not doing any Arnold.
No,
No
trust
more
me.
Arnold.
We're not doing it.
He's too busy doing FUBAR.
No, I can't watch it because I'll just be doing Arnold impressions and
For-
these guys will
For
stab me.
weeks and weeks and weeks. And we want to hurt them. And sometimes we do.
Yeah, sometimes. Behind the scenes, guys, when they turn off the cameras, that's
We
when
hurt
they
'em.
start beating
We
me.
hurt them a lot.
But anyway, back to the Nice Guys,
The movie we watched.
which of course is the movie we did.
Yeah, what were you gonna say, Steve?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
Steve.
This movie is in the 70s, and that was the time I was born. I'm very
Yeah,
old.
sure.
No.
No?
Terrible.
Why
No?
were you born in the 70s?
Why not?
We were negative like 35.
Dude, I wish I was born in the 70s. I saw these outfits. I want to wear like the nice blue suit, like the nice denim blue suit. Why not?
Mm.
Am I the only one that appeals to?
No,
Like,
it,
I mean,
it was
I don't know.
It was nice
I'm not
clothes.
really sold on any of it. So I don't. That's okay. You can like that.
yeah, no, I'm going to enjoy that. One of these days, I'm bringing the 70s back. Mark me down.
Steve,
I'm
bringing the
it back.
70s back.
Bringing
Yeah.
it back.
Wide lapels coming at you.
Yes.
Some Jinko jeans.
Yeah, Jinko jeans.
No, Jinko jeans weren't
No, but, you know, we're,
90s maybe.
you know, they didn't even like construct the Hollywood sign yet. You know, we're back in the 70s. It was a simpler time when cars could go through houses and not a care in the world. You know, you're just rummaging through your parents' bedroom. You're trying to find a nice Playboy to ease your Friday night.
Sometimes you gotta.
Yeah, and then a car comes through your house, you know? It's
And
just
then you just casually walk outside while your parents are just, off doing a lot of coke.
I don't know what they're
A lot of
doing
coke.
because it's just a
Yeah.
kid. He's like
Yeah.
goes into the bedroom. There's a car that like drives down a hill. There's a lot of noise that happens, and the parents are
They're out doing
Well,
coke.
no. They both took 2 Xannies, and they were
Yeah,
like, "We're
passed out.
past
no,
the
guys,
fuck out."
little did you know this is Batman's origin story. He doesn't have parents. They were dead the
No,
whole
The
it's not
time.
his
car
parents,
killed
'cause
his
He
parents.
goes into the bedroom and like pulls the Playboy out from under the bed.
He does.
And if it took him any longer to find it, he'd got hit by the car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
seriously.
it took him 3 extra seconds, he dies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, he
No,
knows.
like this kid gets through the hallway in just enough time to see this freaking like nice ass car come flying through his living room.
Mhm.
Yeah, I literally have a line that says, "How do you like my car?" I'm like, I'm pretty sure the kid is not looking at the car. Right now.
Yeah, no. Well, at least he had the common decency to cover this lady.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why you were driving a car like butt ass naked at like 12:30 at night.
Well, I think this will come down later on in the film when we start to talk about like what is the plot going on.
Right,
here.
right.
And it's like, how is Misty Mountains involved in the overall story? And then her driving away, she's trying to get murdered. She films this thing. It's an activist
I gotta say, though-
movement. Like, there's a lot that's tied up into this film.
I gotta say, great porn name, Misty Mountains.
Misty Mountains.
Misty
Yeah,
Mountains.
That's like a nerd ass porn name. I like it.
It's like a
That's where the-
regular. It's like a regular.
No,
one,
that's where the
Steve.
hobbits went to find fucking Schmeagol.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, fucking. Just saying.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's funny.
Wait, are you
'cause
trying to say that
mountains
they
like
were
her boobs.
going to find Smeagol in the Misty Mountains?
Well, they just happened to stumble upon him. He was in there. He was just hanging out.
You're just trying to say he was in some type of rock formation?
Yeah, the Misty Mountains. That's where they go.
Oh.
All right, whatever.
Dwarves go there.
Yeah, the dwarves go there. Whatever. This is not a Lord of the Rings. I wish it was.
No, it's not.
No one does.
I do.
But yeah, so as Charles said, she mentions this line, how do you like my car? And then we're into, the main part of our story. Now remember that, because how do you like my car comes up later.
Really?
Yes, it does. If
you
you've
wouldn't
seen
think it's
the movie.
important,
It
but it's very important.
It's part of the story.
Really?
It is. A
Okay.
good chunk of it, actually.
I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, but this...
Well, yeah. Okay.
all right,
I get it.
all right.
I get it.
Yeah, you get it?
Yep.
All right.
Keep going.
So this is Russell Crowe's entrance to the movie. He's given us like some tough guy narration, and you kind of figure out what his... Yeah, he's fighting people eventually.
Well, no, the first scene that you
Yeah.
see is he's literally putting on brass knuckles, and he's like, "Oh, are you the man?" And he's like, "What?" And just fucking lays him out like
'cause-
instantly.
well,
and you're
this
like,
guy was
"Okay, I
hanging
know
out
who
with-
this character is. Like, I know who this character is within the first like fucking 5 minutes that I
Yeah.
meet him."
True. Yeah, no, they do a really good job at just showing you everything about the character and everything about the story without over explaining anything.
Yeah. And you understand them very quickly. Like, you meet Marsh, you meet Ryan Gosling, like all these characters, you know who they are within like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this dude's an alcoholic, he's a private investigator, he has a daughter, the mom's missing. You're like, okay, there's all these things that start adding up here.
Yeah.
I think the best thing about the character introductions is they don't tell you a whole bunch, and the story that follows fits the personality they laid out for you at the beginning.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of stories will portray a character as something, and then the situation that follows doesn't fit
Right,
what they
right.
showed. And in this time, I feel like they got a perfect match
Yeah.
where, okay, these are the important characters. This is a story that perfectly matches up with how we translated who they were to the viewer.
Yeah. No, him rolling up on this house and being like, yeah, I'm the guy you call when some guy's fucking around with your 14-year-old girl. And then he's like, hey, buddy, I just want you to hold this for me. And he fucking punches him,
It just hits
fucking
him.
hits him in
He
the
just
face.
hits him.
And you're like, okay, Russell Crowe, like, I know who you are. I know where this is going.
But I love the contrast between Russell Crowe's opening and Ryan Gosling's opening,
Yes.
because Ryan Gosling just wakes up in a bathtub in his full suit.
Yeah.
He's just like crawls out of his
Nothing-
bathtub.
nothing
With
normal at
water
all.
in the bathtub.
Yeah, like he misses a phone call from his daughter, and she's like, "Oh, in case you forgot, it's
my birthday.
Because why not, right?
Yeah. No, but oh my god, Ryan Gosling is my favorite in this freaking movie. Like,
Yes.
he's like that. He's like that typical like fuck up, but he's the fuck up in like the best ways. like especially towards the end when he's just like, God, I don't think I can die.
He's like, I'm invincible.
I'm invincible. That's the only explanation.
It's like, I can't die.
Yeah, but like he wakes up and he has "You will never be happy" like written out on his hand, and I'm like, I want to know the story behind that. Like if he went on like
Yeah.
such a bender.
They just don't tell you. They're
Yeah,
just
no.
like, nah.
But it's like
that
a
was just
nice
for
little
fun.
touch. Like
Yeah.
throughout the movie, it's like it shows you what it is, and then it's like a sense memory object where it brings it back at the end. It's like, okay, here's that thing that you saw,
Yeah.
but then it's different now.
Yeah,
because it shows you the change in the character like throughout the story.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really feeds into his invincibility and he becomes happy.
Yeah, and you're like,
He becomes
you
a better
will be
dad.
happy. So that'll come later in our.
Yeah. But so Russell Crowe is getting his mission from this girl named Amelia. She's basically hiring
I said it
him.
was a mission.
Well, I don't know.
Assignment, contract. It's
I
you
like
know,
the word mission.
Yeah. But that's a different kind of movie.
Yeah, that was
This
when
isn't
we
a
talked about
sci-fi
Mission
film.
Impossible. Like I
Also-
was already on that episode,
Yeah.
Steve.
No,
so
listen,
let's-
listen,
Tom
sorry.
Cruise isn't in this.
I wish he was. No, I don't.
No.
No, but all right. So he gets his job from this girl, Amelia,
Yes.
who basically hires him because
Yes.
our Ryan Gosling character has been
Correct.
poking around asking about her.
Mhm.
And she wants Russell Crowe to get him off of her back.
Yes.
Yes.
Make them stop following. him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, off of her back.
Uh-huh.
It's a common expression. We're in the 70s, guys. Come on. This is what they used to say. Hey, you're on my
Groovy.
back, buddy. Get off.
Yes. Okay.
Psychedelic.
All right.
Groovy,
Yeah.
psychedelic. Get out.
I think it was just English.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was sort of English.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Debatable.
Whatever. But so
Hang in there, Steve.
Yeah, I'm trying my best here. So Russell Crowe goes to Ryan Gosling's house and basically kicks the ever living shit out of him. Like their dialogue back and forth in this scene is seriously the best way to set the tone, I think, for these two characters.
Well, and that was the tone the whole film.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Agreed.
with just a couple exceptions.
Yeah,
you know, where they're sitting at the bar at the end, or like a very emotional scene at the beginning where, you know, they find the dead guy or whatever. It was like, there's just little bits of, okay, we're going to be friends. But other than that, it was like, we kind of hate each other, and it makes it funny for us watching.
Right.
Yeah, it like sets up that dynamic immediately, and then it just stays there. And I think that's why you get so enticed in their interactions, because you see that initially off the bat, and then they just keep doing it like that, and it's just super funny.
It also gives credibility to each guy in his own way, like complete different styles in how they try to achieve the same thing.
Right.
But a different way of looking at money or getting paid, because Ryan Gosling is definitely all about getting that dollar.
Yeah.
And Russell Crowe's more like, well, I do this out of principle. Like,
yeah,
he paid me for a job.
He's like, I
the
feel
job
like I'm
gets
doing
done.
something that's worthwhile.
Yeah. Like-
He's like contributing to society. He's like a vigilante, like a true vigilante.
But this is like some of my favorite scenes in this movie, because like it shows like Ryan Gosling like trying to break into a building, and he like punches a hole through the window and like slits his wrist open.
And he's like, oh god,
He's like,
there's so much blood.
That's a lot of blood.
Then he has to check. It starts spurting again. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, seriously.
Shrinks to the
And
ground.
then it just like cuts to him being in an ambulance, and like those moments where they just cut to something extreme happening is just so
Yeah,
funny.
they're
He's like screaming and like
we're losing him, and he's like trying to get out of the gurney.
I have to go. I have to go. Like, no, you can't go.
Oh my god! But like, while like they almost like intercut that with like Russell Crowe like getting ready in the morning, like before he goes and beats the shit out of Ryan Gosling, and he's like brushing his teeth. He's looking at his like calendar with his new word of the day, and like you get some of his backstory, and it like cuts to like him at dinner with his, I guess his like wife, and she's just like, "I'm fucking your father,"
And he just spits out.
Spits
What?
and spills his drink all over.
Like it's just like that. It's like that just randomness of like the dialogue that gets me every time.
And they do that a few times where they punctuate a certain thing with something sharp,
Right.
something you're not expecting.
Yeah.
And they do it, but they do it in different ways throughout the film, which I like. You know, they say something one time, they show you something another time, they give you both the next time.
Right.
But there's always some extreme sharp thing to like kind of like, oh right, like this is supposed to be different than normal.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Oh my god, just I'm fucking your father.
But
He
it's
goes,
funny because like once they set that tone, like you were saying, like when they show the characters, and then there's the scene where he punches through the glass. Like as soon as that scene hits, like I always kind of like start laughing before it happens,
Yeah.
because I know how fucking funny it is, and it's still funny after seeing it so many times. But once that happens, though, like the whole tone is set. Like they don't stop. They don't break out of it, except for, like you said, Michael, there's a couple scenes where it gets super serious. It's very like sentimental, changing characters. Like
but like the comedy is always
the
there.
comedy is always there.
And they don't overdo the sentimental,
yeah.
which keeps the comedy where it's so funny throughout the whole thing, because they're like, yes, we understand it's a serious situation, but we're still allowed to enjoy it and not be thinking about anything other than what's going on right then.
And that's almost like makes you normalize it, and it feels more real, because we all do that to each other. You know, like if something shitty is happening, you crack a joke to somebody just to
Right.
kind of lighten the mood.
Right.
So it's
Right.
like, and it felt very natural in that sense. I'm sure they had a lot of improvisation.
Yeah. Well, like in this part when Russell Crowe's like beating up on Gosling, and he's like, "Give me your left arm." Like, no, come on, just let me see your left arm.
No.
And when he's like, "Tell your doctor you have a radial fracture on your right side," and he like pops his arm, and just Ryan
scream.
Gosling screamed during. But then he like goes outside and just gets a yoo-hoo from his daughter. Like it's like such a random turn of events. He's like, "All right, I'm just gonna pop your arm anyway. I'm gonna take an apple. I'm out."
I mean, they consistently subvert what you think's going to happen. Like the boy looking at the magazine, car through the house.
Yeah.
And then they keep doing that too. So there was a few things that I liked and worked in the story that they did just in different ways, which is kind of neat to see, a movie as well written as this, like shot in a good way too.
Right.
Like, we only needed that split second of the car and a split second of this and a split second of that. Like I feel like they showed what you wanted to see and showed you just enough for it to be funny, but didn't like stretch anything out to where it would get old.
Right, right. No, and that's kind of hard to do, like especially with like movies that like tread that line between like funny and like a little too much, where it's like, all right, you told us the joke, we all laughed, all right, cut it
run
and move
for
on.
40 minutes for it, and you're like, okay, like I wonder what's coming now. This subverted your expectations a little bit in different ways.
But yeah, so she Ryan Gosling's daughter gives Russell Crowe a yoo-hoo, which turns him down a dark path of now he's addicted to yoo-hoo.
Which you
He's
see
like,
that
I'm gonna
like
buy
briefly.
a whole case. He's like, here we go, folks.
But that's like some like underlying, nobody talks about it. It's just like a comedic moment. And,
well, I mean, I guess when you haven't had it for 30 years and like, somebody fucking twists your arm.
He got the taste for it again. He had to have it.
Yeah. Like, is that like a subliminal message?
Yeah,
Like,
it could
this is
be.
more like a symbol of addiction.
Yeah,
Like,
like,
if I taste
he starts
yoo-hoo
drinking
again, I'm gonna buy myself a whole
2
case.
weeks later, Gosling like kicks in his door and he's like, dude, I've been calling you for 2 weeks. Where have you been? And it's just Russell Crowe with like yoo-hoo all over him. I can't stop.
I can't help myself. The yoo-hoo's got me.
Oh my God, the yoo-hoo pulled me in.
But it is nice that they show you that much yoo-hoo
Yeah.
and then break that much
all
yoo-hoo.
of the
All of
yoo-hoo.
Yeah.
Because they
What we were
introduced.
talking about is like, where the fuck do you buy yoo-hoo now?
Yeah.
Where?
I don't think you can get it.
You
Maybe
you can.
Amazon.
Oh,
I've had-
Charles
I've
is
had-
looking it up.
I've had some recently.
Charles is like, I'm going to get a 48 pack of yoo-hoo to the door today.
2 cases,
They got drones now. Deliver that.
next day delivery.
But yeah, like this is where like Keith David shows up to Russell Crowe's apartment and he's got like I guess he's like a coked out like little henchman that follows him around.
Oh yeah, little
That
gremlin.
little-
Little gremlin.
Yeah, but they're basically shaking Russell Crowe down for information. And like this guy just starts like fishing through Russell Crowe's stuff and he pulls a bag out that shoots blue ink. all over
This
his
is
face.
another great scene. I love this scene.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And I like that this is where he gets the Blueface nickname, but like I only think of him as the Blueface.
Yeah,
right?
seriously.
Yeah.
Because I don't know his name. I just know him as Blueface.
The Blueface.
Blueface. The little
Yeah,
gremlin.
because he's not Johnny Boy.
Mm.
Johnny Boy is the assassin.
Yeah, he's the other guy.
Yeah.
And then Keith David is Keith David. Because
Yes.
you respect that man.
Yeah. You don't change his name.
No.
He's
no.
still Keith
He
David.
just shows up and he's like, what's up? I'm Keith David.
He's like, we need you to do this. And he's like, got it.
Whatever. I'm Keith David. Let's go. It's like, well, your character's actually Johnny. Nah. It's Keith David.
They didn't change his name in the credits. We saw it in the
Yeah,
credits.
no, it
Like,
was there.
It's just
It was there.
Keith David.
Yeah, but freaking Blueface at this point, he's so pissed off at Russell Crowe, he starts like fishing out his goldfish from his tank.
yeah.
They were a
This is-
variety of fish. They weren't
Yeah.
goldfish.
Were they
I
not
don't know what they
goldfish?
were. They were fish though, but he was throwing these fucking fish, and he's a dick.
I'm just saying,
He
Coke must give you
is a dick.
superpowers if you can scoop a fish out of a
you-
tank with
It's
like no
not
problem.
A big tank. You
No,
can
but he
definitely
didn't
grab one.
try. He was just like, bam, like Mr. Miyagi type stuff. He's just grabbing it out of the water.
But this is where we kind of see the salt of the earth, Russell Crowe, where he's like, hey, look, I work in the same.
Yeah.
I do the same thing for work. So beat me up, getting information, that's fine. Killing my fish is too much.
Now you made me angry.
Now you've pissed me off. It's just kind of
Oh,
funny.
yeah,
like
this
he's-
whole line that he does. He's like, but now you piss me off.
you've made an enemy.
You've made an enemy.
Yeah, but dude, Russell Crowe is like flipping and cartwheeling through shit.
He's not doing that.
No,
His
he
stunt
literally
double's
does
doing
like
that.
Stunt
His
double.
His stunt double is doing that, but
Yeah, you
he
can tell he-
himself, Kurt Russell, is not doing that. He's drinking a case of yoo-hoo. He's
Yeah, no,
not
you
doing
can tell
shit.
like the belly disappears as he does a barrel roll through a window. They're just like, no, Russell Crowe can't do that.
No one will notice.
no one.
Not even a single person. We noticed
We'll
that.
watch it again. We'll rewind it, pause it.
Yeah, take pictures.
That's a stunt double.
Oh, we got him. He's got a beard. Oh, wait, shit. Russell
He
Crowe had a
doesn't have a
beard in this movie. Yeah, he's clean shaven. Anyway, joke ruined. Thanks, Steve. You're welcome, Steve.
What?
You're welcome to himself.
Yeah, I'm just talking to myself.
We're not going to talk about
Yeah,
it.
don't worry about it. But so from here, we're at Ryan Gosling's kid Holly's birthday party at the bowling alley. And I just love all the kids are like screaming at Gosling, and he's like, "All right, one at a time, Jesus."
That's his, token thing for
when he
throughout
gets
the whole
excited.
movie.
Yeah, he's just like,
Or
Jesus.
scared. Yeah, he gets really high pitched and says, Jesus.
But I just love
The one girl's like,
Yeah.
you took the Lord's name in vain. He's like, no, I just found a creative use for it or something.
It's like, I found
it very
it
useful, Janet.
We hate on Janet for probably 58 minutes.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a good portion.
Yeah, like Holly is trying to get Russell Crowe to beat her up because she's like, yeah, she's tall, she's kind of annoying. She's at my party over there. Like, go
She's
beat
over
him up.
there.
Yeah, how much would it cost?
I've got $30.
It's like, all right, I'm sold. I'm a man with principles. You pay me, I'll do it.
And this is kind of where we see his daughter is going to interject herself into the rest of the film.
Yeah.
Like because she takes on this conversation and does a good job with it. We're like, okay, she has a strong personality too.
Right.
She's, more adult for her age, that type of character. And she does. She's in the rest of it.
Honestly, she has some of my favorite lines. Like she's like more funny than most of these people.
Right.
She's super cool and chill.
Yeah,
Just, like, the whole
It's
seriously.
the
time.
classic, you give adult-like lines to a
Yeah.
child and it's funnier.
Yeah.
Well, and you wonder too. It's like with her experience through life. Well, in this character's life, where her mom has passed away, she's like forced to grow up very quickly, and she's just trying to be more connected with her dad, and her dad's very disconnected. So it's a very much back and forth. She's very mature for her age.
Yeah.
Like she gets into a limo. Blueface is about to murder her. She stops a murder from.
Yeah, no, she just fucking takes the law into her own hands.
She definitely rises to the occasion a few times.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, so Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling now decide to work together, and they're off to a protest to try and find this Amelia girl.
Which one of you is Amelia?
They can't talk to you, man. They're dead.
Dead. What are you protesting, man?
The birds can't breathe.
It's like,
The
and what about
air.
all you guys? It's like the gas mask didn't help.
And the one guy literally, like, you see the
You see him
you see the
contemplate
thought
it.
go through his
He's
head.
like, he actually
That's
has
a
a
good
good point
point.
there.
Oh my god. No, this is one of my favorite scenes because like Ryan Gosling steps on one of the protesters and she's like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were dead."
Right. I think this is the time in the film where we're seeing what actually the film's going to be about. So
Right.
We've introduced everybody. We've had peripheral interactions, some funny interactions, and now is like, okay, here's what's going to happen the rest of the time.
Yeah, we're definitely into the meat and potatoes because like he pays one of the guys like $20 to take him to like basically where the storyline gets started. You find out Amelia and her boyfriend, what was it, Derek, were
Yeah,
making
Derek.
a experimental film,
Yeah,
as they
it's
call it.
porno.
It's porn.
It's porn, but it's not.
Porn.
It's experimental.
And this is where we find out that the root cause of everything, it comes down to a car company and porn. We're like,
Yeah, basically.
The root
th-
of
this
all
is-
evil.
This is where we're heading with it? Okay.
No,
And
but-
also the head of the Justice Department.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
we must
that
take a
too.
detour.
No, but when this kid shows up to the fucking house and he's like, "Yeah, I offered to be in his movie, offered to show my dick. He didn't want to see it
He didn't want to
because I got a big dick."
This kid's like,
Like you want to see my
12.
dick?
It's just like, "Oh no, yeah. If you talk, like he'll give you $20." He's like, "I didn't say that. All right, $20 to see my dick."
Ridiculous.
And he says it with such a straight face. Like
Yeah.
all the delivery throughout the entire film is like very straight.
Yeah, I wonder how many takes it must have took for him to just be like,
one for
you know, because
everything.
I got a big dick.
See,
Got
you
big
can't
dick.
even do it. You chuckle.
Yeah, no, because it's
Yeah.
a silly sentence.
Yeah, he's also lying.
He is also lying.
He's also
True,
lying,
Michael.
so it's harder to say.
Put that on the record.
It's on film. It's on audio.
Oh my God, no, I'm deleting this part out. I have master control, motherfucker.
You can't.
Not tonight.
But yeah, so this sends them looking for this person named Hat Rack, which turns out to be a porn director, Sid Shattuck. So they're going to his house
Correct.
party for the evening. And like while they're setting up like where they're going, Holly asks like Ryan Gosling, like, why don't we invite Russell Crowe inside? And he's like, no, we don't invite animals inside.
No animals in the house.
So their relationship is still not solid yet.
Yeah,
it has
no.
not been solidified. So it's like they're working together, but they don't trust each other. kind
Oh
of
yeah,
thing.
definitely not.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you broke my arm, Charles, like the minute you walked in here, I'd be like, all right, I don't know if I trust this guy.
It would,
Not
it would
anymore.
it would have to be higher pitched than that, Steve.
I don't trust you.
But like
That's
he
better.
does trust him pretty quickly. I mean, they immediately start working together. Like
Yeah.
it's like a
Well,
few
but it's for
moments.
the money. He's like,
Yeah.
I want 3 days in advance. And then he's like, no, 2. And they kind of negotiate, got $400. And that's why I was wondering, I'm like, how much is $400 getting you back in the 70s?
Back in the
So-
70s?
Well, for 2 days work,
Yeah.
$400 is not bad.
Yeah,
Mhm.
seriously.
I mean,
What
for 2
like,
days work now, if it wasn't my regular job, I'd be like, okay, that'd be worth it just to do
Yeah.
something different.
right. Yeah, no, I mean,
So
I guess back
it had to
then,
be
I mean,
pretty
look at
good.
Ryan Gosling's house. He had like basically a mansion
Well,
in the
they're in-
Hollywood Hills.
They're in a well-off area
Yeah.
too.
So, I mean, you know.
But it's like, did
Hit
they
up the
get
show about
insurance
inflation.
money because the house burned down?
Mm.
Like,
Oh, I mean, that could be it.
and then they bought a house right down the street from it. Like, what's going on here?
See,
yeah.
these are those small details that, like, it would be nice to know, but I don't, like,
I don't
necessarily
to know
need them.
I don't-
But, like, I'm
Yeah,
curious.
definitely.
If there was less shooting, I would want to know
There was a good bit of
those
shooting.
details.
Yeah,
But there was
seriously.
enough shooting where it was like, that's okay.
Yeah.
I'll
It's
just
a
make
pass.
it.
It's a
Right,
pass.
right.
I'll let this slide this time.
Oh, my God.
There's one less gunfight.
You let me watch Russell Crowe break his arm, so
Yeah.
that's good enough.
Yeah, I'll
No.
settle for less details.
No.
But yeah, so they get to Sid Shattuck's house, and fucking Holly tagged along, and she's in the like trunk, and they pull her out. And I just love it's like, Dad, there's whores in here and stuff. He's just like, honey, I told you, don't say and stuff. Just say, Daddy, there's whores here.
And then he
You're-
throws her in a taxi cab.
And this
Yes.
actually is him being a little bit better of a parent because
Mhm.
he does that the whole way through. So it's
Mhm.
like what he says is wild, but he's actually becoming a better person for it.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, so like they're wandering around like this party, and like they're all finding information, but Ryan Gosling's just getting drunk. Like Holly's doing more work than Ryan Gosling is.
Yeah.
You were the worst detective, Dad.
I just love that he jumps in the pool to like talk to the mermaids. He's like
He's
trying to
swimming.
like
Yeah.
swim to
He's
catch
doing
up
his
to
job. He had to interview he even explains it later on. I had to interview the mermaids.
But he talked to the mermaids and then the girls dancing
Which is-
on the bar.
Which
Like
is the only people I would have talked to in
You-
that situation.
he's like, you got a good viewpoint up there.
Yeah, and then he talks to that one girl. He's like, "Hey, trying to shoot me. I'm a cowboy. Like, shoot me." She like pretends to shoot him, and he does like a barrel roll off the back of this balcony.
And like he wasn't expecting to go that far.
Not
Yeah,
at all.
Because
And
he
she
kept
lost
rolling.
interest within like
Yeah.
5 seconds. She's like, "Oh wait, what?"
It's like
Okay.
that was amazing. Anyway, there's Coke over here.
Pocahontas left.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But like he like rolls down this hill and ends up discovering like a dead body. And like his reaction to it's
Like he can't
This
talk.
this scene is so good.
Mm.
it's seriously perfect. Like this is the exact reaction like you should have as like a
Right.
drunkard after just
And seeing
falling down a
dead
hill.
body.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, okay, it's so happenstance that he's there,
Mm-hmm.
but the scene is so good that it's like, I don't really like, okay, what he
Mhm.
fell off the balcony and found it. Yep, that
Mhm.
works.
Yeah,
because
no, I'll take that.
That was dope.
Yeah. Well, like Ryan Gosling is definitely the like wrong place at the right time character where like he just happens to be a good detective because he stumbles upon the wrong place at the right time. Like it's ridiculous how many like coincidences he happens to just like walk into.
Yeah.
Also, everywhere he is, there's a bar.
Also that.
I mean, it was the 70s, so.
Yeah, seriously.
Everybody's
Always a
drinking.
bar.
Always a bar.
He's getting free drinks all the time.
Mm.
yeah,
in this
that's-
film.
That's how you have to do
He
it.
goes to a party. He gets a free drink.
Well, I mean, dude, when
He
you're
talks to him a mermaid, he gets a free drink.
Well, when you look like
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling in the 70s, they just paid you to show up to parties. Like, it's pretty great.
They rented, right?
Yeah, they're like, hey, buddy, we need you here like 4 hours for a party.
Why?
And
You'll bring 8 people with you. That's why.
it's like, all right, I'll be there.
I'll be there.
$400.
per hour.
Per minute.
But yeah, so
Per
like
second.
all the craziness starts happening here. Like Keith David ends up showing up, and him and Russell Crowe start fighting over a gun. Ryan Gosling gets in a car and starts chasing Cokie McGee like down the street as
Who's Cokie
Blueface.
Blueface.
McGee? We changed his name already?
Yeah.
I thought it
Cokie
was-
McGee.
Did I miss that time?
No,
that
no.
part in the conversation?
I wanted to make sure you were paying attention, so I
Cokie
threw it out
McGee.
there.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Cokie McGee.
No,
Thank you.
Paying attention.
The Cokie monster.
That's awful.
He gets blasted.
Oh my god. Yeah, no.
Straight blast.
Because he gets fucking hit by a hippie van.
And she's like, wait.
Yeah, no, Holly is too good for this movie.
Yeah,
like,
way
she
too good.
she cares about the guy who is just trying to kill
Yeah.
somebody.
It
It's
pissed
like
me off
this
a little bit.
ethical, like, moral justice. I don't know
And like
what
you,
it
you
is.
would
Like,
think
what
her
it is.
character would be a little bit more like "fuck you, I hope
Right?
you die," and then it
Yes.
turns out that she's not.
She's not at all.
Yeah,
It doesn't help me in the film at all. So it's like,
yeah. But also you have to remember she's 13 and she
Well,
hasn't gotten
she
to
was-
that point of frustration with life to actually want people
Right.
dead. So
she's. Yeah, that's true. That's
Michael,
true.
what point did you hit frustration in life?
Yeah,
you wanted
where you-
people
It
dead.
was
Yeah,
like 7.
Oh,
Seven.
jeez.
Great.
Yeah.
Early.
well, for most of us, it's a little bit later.
Probably
you
like
know,
11.
maybe like high school.
Maybe 11,
Yeah, probably 11.
16.
Jesus.
Nah, that's a
Or
late
just-
bloomer in my book.
That's late.
Yeah.
I've
right.
always hated everything. That's my child.
Yeah, but like then like Russell Crowe puts like short work to it because he shows up and he's instantly like, yeah, whatever, John Boy's coming to kill us, whatever, you're dead. And just chokes this guy out. But like you can see it like almost kills him to lie to Holly.
Yeah.
She's like, did you kill him? And he's like, no, of course not. It's like you could see it in his eyes. Like he can't really make eye contact with her. He's like kind of like looking around.
Mm.
He's like, nah, I didn't.
Yeah, but like it shows like that extra dimension to Russell Crowe's character. Like he's not just a muscle guy for hire. Like he does have feelings. He does have something. When Ryan Gosling is just a drunk through,
Right.
through like most
Right.
of it. So they're almost like building the characters without actually having to like sit you down and be like, okay, so was everyone paying attention? Russell Crowe felt bad about lying to a
You're
little
like,
girl.
Right.
No, we
Yeah.
got it.
It's like the subtlety is enough.
They give
Right.
you
Yeah.
3 extra seconds.
Yeah.
And then they change the camera angle.
Exactly.
And you're like, oh, that meant something.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they just showed that quote, like that click. Oh my God!
Quick.
Quick little close up. That's a hard sentence to say.
Quick little close-up.
Quick,
Yeah, see,
Little
even you
close-up.
fucked it up. Say it.
I don't think
quick
so.
little close up.
All right, so you're better than me. Anyway, this is why he's the older brother. But like that quick little close up of Russell Crowe, like quickly like darting his gaze after being like, no, of course I didn't kill him. No, I didn't stare into his eyes as he died. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about
Don't
it.
worry about
I
it.
didn't choke him with a handkerchief that I currently still have in my pocket.
Charles, are you still looking up Where to Buy Yoo-Hoo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God.
He still hasn't found it, everyone.
Yeah. But
So you-
so from here, like the cops show up and they take Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling to this senator's house. Her name is Judith Cutler, and she is the Department of Justice lady. And
Yep.
she basically reveals the other side of the plot. She's Amelia's mom. She thinks Amelia thinks she's trying to kill her,
Right.
and then hires Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling to investigate.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but she knows about the film.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But she doesn't tell Russell Crowe that
Right.
because
Mhm.
then we know too much about the plot too soon.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah, so it's like they bring her in and it's almost like a question of, is she the bad guy? Is she not the bad guy?
Right.
Is Amelia the one who's just being a little bit ridiculous or whatever? And I mean, pretty much right away, I'm like, yeah, I mean, the mother's probably
She's
the asshole.
100%
Like,
the bad guy.
Yeah, no, like the minute they bring her in, you're just kind of like,
She just
Something's
gives off that
Yeah.
Something
too.
is definitely off.
well,
Yeah.
and she almost gives like too much information to these guys.
She's like so specific. She's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
this is all of the information you could possibly
But
need.
they all fall. Well, Ryan Gosling falls for it because he's like,
well, and the fact that
It's
she
a
knows
woman.
that like the film was destroyed and the boyfriend was killed and like all this stuff, and like she's just kind of like peppering it in, and like there's no way she would know that unless she was like personally involved, because it
Mhm.
wasn't like they made no indication that it was on like the news or like
that
you know
Yeah.
that it
that
was
the police
reported.
force
publicly
discovered
known.
these
Yeah.
things. Like
So
she
like
just knew
she
them.
almost like gives herself away in this scene. But like the one person who doesn't give themselves away is like this assistant that Ryan Gosling falls in
yeah.
love with.
Mm.
And like
That is kind of funny.
yeah, but like, you know, he's instantly like, "Oh, can I have her card too? Because
Right.
like I might need to call her like at some point.
To
like,
set something
I,
up.
I just want to call
just
her.
in case.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like seriously, does she have her number? Oh my god. But blah, 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 blah.
Steve lost his train of thought
Yeah,
there.
no, I lost my spot in my notes.
Again.
Yeah.
Again.
It's
but-
okay.
So they get back to Ryan Gosling's house, and he's like drinking on his swimming pool. And I love that Russell Crowe is just like, it's like, what is this? The world's biggest ashtray? Because it's just like a big puddle with
Yes.
a bunch of like cigarette
Right.
butts.
I
It i-
literally
it is
have in
the
the
world
notes, I'm like,
biggest.
how many cigarettes did he smoke during this film? Because it's a lot.
Yeah,
It's a
I
lot,
think
like,
I
every
think the
scene-
pool could have been more filled. I
Right.
think there could have been a bigger pile.
Well,
in there.
he wasn't home a lot.
That's true.
I mean, like between
he was
this
out.
and what was it, La La Land? Wasn't he
No,
like
La
smoking a
La
bunch?
La la
Land.
land. La la.
Sorry.
Sorry, it's fine.
Yeah, he played in 2 movies in the same time period.
Yeah,
They smoked in both.
they
Yeah.
smoked
Yeah,
a bunch.
yeah.
Also, the other one was about jazz. A lot
Yeah.
of smoking.
Everything like pre-90s is just cigarettes everywhere.
Cigarettes and jazz.
That's all you need.
That's all it was about back then.
Cigarettes and jazz, boys. Cigarettes and jazz.
Yeah.
And is this the part where Russell Crowe starts, you know, kind of
Yeah,
spilling his guts a little
Yeah.
bit with the story?
Because he gets revealed as the diner man.
He gets
No,
he
the
gets
diner guy.
Yeah, the diner
Diner
guy.
guy.
he gets recognized out in public, like, oh my word, you're the diner guy.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, Ryan Gosling catches on to this, and because of the humor in the film, he's gonna bug him about it for a while,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna tell us, and it's actually gonna be pretty funny, and since it was well written, it actually helps the story a little bit
Yeah.
too.
Because like after he tells like this heartfelt story, he's just like, yeah, there was just this guy. He's walking around with a shotgun. Like, I didn't think I was gonna act. I just did it. And like it literally shows him like beating the hell out of this guy with a shotgun.
Smash.
He like
And
definitely
he takes
smashes
a
it.
bullet.
Yeah.
Takes a bullet,
And
too.
like you can tell this is like Russell Crowe's like defining moment, and like this is kind of what made him what he was. And he like cuts back to Ryan Gosling, and he's just snoring on the diving
He's
board.
sleeping. Nice
He's
story,
totally
but,
out.
nice story,
Yeah.
but I'm
Absolutely
really
out.
drunk.
No, but I love that they called it back in this like next scene, because like they figure out they need to go to this like hotel, and like they're standing there at the bar, and he's just like, yeah, remember I told you like last night, you know, I got shot. And he's like, what the hell are you talking about? You got shot?
He's like, what are you talking
wasn't
about?
paying attention to any of it.
He was sleeping way before he got on that diving
Mm.
board.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, like it was
Way
just
before.
Way before.
like it's just the way Shane Black writes his dialogue. It's like the way these characters talk to each other. Like in no way, shape, or form would you ever consider this like real human dialogue until you like watch these guys and it comes out of their mouths like so naturally. Then you're like, okay, yeah, I could see my group of friends talking like this or like treating each other
Right.
like this.
Yeah.
And they kind of prove it a little bit with he's Ryan Gosling drinking a lot, so Russell Crowe's like, you know, to his daughter, where's his keys? Oh, it doesn't matter, I'm driving.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
little things like that.
Yeah.
Right. No, and like the way they just play off of each other, like one guy's the goofball, the one guy's like the straight shooter, but like they both have that element of like silliness to them, especially like here, like because after they get the they're talking to this bartender, and he fucking smashes his head into the dining.
It's like you don't want him to do this, and you're like, do what?
Yeah, and he's like,
Yeah.
well, we could do this the easy. Well,
Actually,
actually, we are doing this
we
the
are
easy
doing
way.
it the easy way.
But it's like they have that connection already where they don't have to even look at each other to know that Ryan Gosling was setting up.
Him
What Russell
smashing
Crowe's
his face
doing,
on
yeah.
the bar.
He just did it so effortlessly.
But like in my notes here, all I have is going up, and then the next note is going down.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that I like that scene.
Yeah, no,
That-
tell us about it, Danielle.
Oh, yeah. Well, so they're going up in a glass elevator, and they get up to the floor. I guess it's the top floor of this penthouse, and they first see somebody like bleeding from the neck. Like obviously someone came by, slice his throat. They look
Obviously.
down the hallway, and you just see somebody like backing up as they're getting shot. And then they both their heads just kind of go right back in the elevator. They just hit the button.
He's like shaking. Ugh.
Yeah, and then you see the guy fucking fly out the window.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
Which is-
it's like perfect setup with the glass elevator there because you can see out of the elevator even though the doors are closed. So it's just like it's a really cool way for them to show like the whole freaking glass elevator thing was so like 70s. I feel like
Yeah.
Right.
but they used it in a really cool way.
So I feel like most people would be expecting the doors not to close.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
they always do that.
Right. And it's
And
again
they
that
have
like
to fight.
yeah.
They're like, no, they're gonna get the elevator. Also, something crazy happens while they're
Right.
on the elevator.
Yeah, it's that like
And then-
you're not expecting this to happen.
And then when we pan all the way out, the elevator looks really cool from
Yeah.
outside the building.
No,
It
and
does.
just the way like Gosling's eye is like twitching
Yes.
while they're on their way back down.
How does he like do that?
I
Oh, you have
I
to-
don't
you have
know.
to
he,
focus.
he plays the perfect like manic
Yes.
person.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing.
Mm.
But like so they get back out to their car and they're like rushing away and the cops are showing up and Russell Crowe like has this like dilemma. He's like, no, I can't leave her. We gotta go back. And like as soon as Ryan Gosling's like, no, she's dead. We gotta go. Like she lands. Like
Yes.
Amelia
Yes.
lands on the
Yeah.
roof of their car.
And this is the
Barefoot,
first
just-
time we witnessed the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With both
Like,
of them
yeah,
together.
Very
exactly.
right place,
And
right
he-
time.
You kind of notice him start to not necessarily like trust him a little bit more, but you start to see Russell Crowe go with the flow a bit
Mhm.
more with these convenient accidents that happen to eventually solve the case.
Yeah.
But so Amelia tries to take a shot at him. She falls off the car, knocks herself out. They bring her back to Gosling's house. So while they're there, basically once Amelia wakes up, she explains the other side of our plot where it's
Mm.
like, oh, my mom is trying to kill me.
Mm.
We named all these people in this like huge conspiracy against the auto
Right.
industry and we made a porn about it, but it's more about the story. And like this confuses Gosling so much. He's like, wait, you made a porno for the story?
Right.
It's like, yes, that's exactly what
exactly
Yes,
we
that's
did.
exactly what we did.
And while he's making fun of pornos not having any story, they basically tell the direction of the rest of the story.
Yeah.
So that way we just get to watch. So it's not like something happens, 15, 20 minutes later and it's another major decision. It's like, no, these are all the things you need to know. Now watch it end.
right.
Which is kind of nice because some stories try to, tie it up at the end or
Mhm.
twist you around at the end. This is like, we set it up great. We gave you the height of the situation great, and now we're gonna show you finishing it all in one shot. As I knock
Yeah, I
everything
saw
over.
that.
All in one shot.
one shot.
As you
As I
knock-
nail
with
it.
my orangutan arms that you can't even see right now.
Yeah, if you're wondering at home, we had some technical difficulties.
There was no technical difficulties.
There's an earthquake.
My arms are just long.
But yeah, so Amelia gives us her story, and at this point, we need to get Gosling and Crowe out of the freaking story. So the assistant to our Department of Justice lady calls them and is just like, "Hey, we need to deliver $100,000 to this address. Like, Gosling, I know you love me. Get over here
It
and
doesn't
deliver
take
it for
that
me."
much convincing.
No.
He's like,
gets-
okay.
He is swooning.
He
Yeah.
gets in the car,
Swooning.
and so they show them talking and him agreeing to it.
Yeah.
And then just a quick cut to him flooring his car and doing a huge burnout going towards it.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, you need me
I'm-
to take it? Okay, yeah.
I'm
uh-huh.
leaving
No.
immediately.
But this
I'll be there.
This is one of the scenes when I first saw it, like I thought was so fucking ridiculous. until you realize it's like a dream sequence. But like Russell Crowe is showing like Gosling his ankle gun, and like they're talking in the car, and they're just like, yeah, man, like whatever, cars drive themselves now. Like, didn't you know that? Like, just let go of the wheel.
Yeah, well, the first thing that
it'll
makes
drive
you think
yourself.
it's the dream sequence is he goes, I'm getting a little sleepy. I need you to drive for me.
Yep.
I'm going to
Yeah.
pull over. And then that's when it starts
First
to get
sign.
weird. And you can hear the music change to kind of like this like trippy sort of
Help
like,
it along.
"Dwah,
Yeah.
dwah."
Yeah.
No, and there's like a fucking bee in the back, and he's like backseat
That's when
driving.
you definitely know it's a dream sequence. When
Yeah.
the bee shows up, you're like, nah, it's a dream.
The
I just
bee
love
shows
that
up.
he's like backseat driving, and Gosling turns around and he's just like, "What do you know? You fly everywhere. What the fuck do you know about
Right.
driving?"
You don't know anything.
But yeah, so like they end up crashing, and like they find out that this $100,000 was like a fake,
Right.
newspaper.
Again, something completely stupid and haphazard happens, but
Yeah.
they find out something else that moves the story along.
Yeah. So I'm guessing it was like a locked briefcase that they couldn't get into, or else they would have very clearly known.
Right.
Or he just blindly trusted her because
True.
she was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
Yes.
that.
Yes.
but like
Yes, it was.
I forgot to mention, like, this is one of my favorite interchanges between Gosling and Crowe, because Crowe's telling like this whole story. He's like, oh yeah, there was this guy on his deathbed, and like the first thing he saw like before he died was Nixon coming up and saying like you're gonna be fine, and then he died. And he's like, so did he think that was like normal? Like everybody sees Nixon before you die? And Gosling just like cuts to the point. He's just like, so there's two ways of seeing everything. Just fucking say that. Like,
Just say that.
It's
Yeah.
like, you lead me on this epic fucking journey.
It's like, just say it.
Just
Say it, man.
like, oh my god, I can't state enough how much I love the back and
Yeah,
forth
and what's-
between these guys.
What's nice about it is it's wild enough to be hilarious, but when they call back to it or something else later on in the film, it's not too much to ruin it.
Yeah,
Like they just kind of nudge back to jokes they make or precedents they set,
right,
but it doesn't like fully grab it, and then they go further with it. It's like they just call back to it, leave it alone. It was funny,
Mhm.
and then they move on, which
Right.
is
Yeah.
kind of nice.
They don't draw it out for any length of time.
Yeah. God damn, they wrote this so good. Sorry, I really like this movie, guys. I know I don't say that often, but
It's
I
also
really
Yep.
like this.
Very,
Don't say it
it's
at all,
very
yeah.
rare. He's always like, this movie was great, and then it ended.
and then it stopped.
And then I
It's so
stopped
sad.
enjoying it.
And
as
you know,
much.
I think the movie would have been better if it would have just kept going.
So if anybody needs their story ended,
Yeah, don't come to me.
Steve's got great
Yeah.
ideas.
But
I will say it's like it was a quick 2 hours.
yeah,
when it was done,
it
I
is
was like,
very
wait.
quick.
What?
But yet they pack so much story
Yes.
into those 2 hours without it feeling super long. And
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of stories have that much detail, and it's like, oof, we didn't need all that.
yeah.
In this movie, it's like, oh, I'm glad we got that much detail.
Well,
It-
they
it
give you
made
like
it-
the right amount.
yeah, it
Mhm.
made it that much funnier, or like I understood why they were doing it.
Mm.
Yeah, but from here, we're back at Gosling's house, and the doctor shows up. Turns
yeah.
out is Johnny Boy or John Boy.
John
You
Boy.
can immediately tell he's not a good guy.
Yeah.
He
He's
gives
dressed-
off that
He's
vibe.
got the
Dressed like a
mole on
bag.
his
Yeah,
cheek.
mole, 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 mole.
Mole. I want to chop it off and cut it up and make guacamole. Every time,
You leave it in the
no,
background.
every time I saw that mole, I was just like, oh my god, I need to get rid of that mole.
You
And-
just want to cut it off.
Again, it was just enough to be outlandish, but
Yeah.
not enough to take you out of it. It's like, okay, we still know he's evil.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, so there's this like huge gunfight, and like Holly's friend gets like chucked through a window.
Yeah,
And like,
Oh yeah.
And she's fine.
yeah, but
nah,
like,
she'll
she's
be
fine.
all right.
yeah, like this whole scene basically ends with Amelia being like, you know what, you guys fucking suck. I'm out. She leaves, and then it
Big mistake.
ends up getting popped by this assassin
Yeah.
anyway.
Mhm.
Like if she would have just
She
stayed,
runs into him anyway.
yeah, she would have been fine. But she was just impatient, and she's like, you know what, fuck Russell Crowe. Like,
Also,
I'm
this
on
is
my
like a
own.
really like sad moment in the film where they kind of
Mhm.
break away from the comedy, and it's like, oh no, like very surreal, intense moment.
Yeah, well, it's
Mhm.
the one time they'd like taste defeat, and they're
Mhm.
just like, shit, we did almost
We
everything right.
lost.
Yeah, we lost.
Yeah, and like they felt like they could have done something more to actually save her, and it was like one of the things they could have done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But from here, they basically figure out the story because the old lady that hired Ryan Gosling basically shows up and is like, no, I swear I saw Amelia. She was in this house. We got to go check it out. So they all go check it out. And of course, Ryan Gosling discovers, there was a projector hidden, and that's how you saw your daughter.
And this is the first time that they both, Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe, fully share information.
Yes.
And of course, they're able to figure out the rest of it, just by that information. So now they fully trust each other. They gave each other the information, and now they can solve this thing and point literally to how the movie ends.
Yeah. But it brings us to this final car show, and we discover that the projectionist has spliced the porno
the porn
into like this car advertisement. So the hitman's there. He finds this out. Russell Crowe and Gosling are there, and they find this out, and it turns into this huge like shootout, and Russell Crowe starts fighting the hitman, and Gosling is like getting chucked through windows and falling off balconies, and he's like surviving everything. And
I'm invincible.
Yeah, and he comes to the conclusion that he's freaking invincible, which I'm starting to believe.
I think so. In this film,
lucky.
Right. In this movie, for sure,
he's been injured many, many times.
he had the luck on his side.
All I can think about is his insurance bills.
Oh my God, they're through the freaking roof.
Well, in the 70s,
Maybe.
prices were cheaper.
Yeah, that's probably about $15.
I have no idea.
You're covered for the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, like no matter what happens to Gosling, like he's blocking bullets, like he's jumping through windows, he's falling off of things. He ends up not getting exploded, which is great.
Not getting exploded.
Yeah.
Not getting exploded.
Not dying.
I count my blessings every day I don't get exploded.
One thing I liked about this sequence was there was intense like combat, and then there was intense dialogue, like with tension, like they have the weapon, but can I get to it? Like just tension in it. But it stays the same throughout, whether they're doing the action or having the dialogue or running. It all stays at that high level throughout the whole way, but they show it like 4 or 5 different ways.
Yeah. But like this all ends with like Russell Crowe about to kill John Boy or whatever. And like Holly comes out and she's like, "Hey, no, if you do this, like I'll never talk to you again," which isn't a bad thing.
Right.
Like, I don't
He's like, I don't need to have a relationship with this 13-year-old girl.
Right,
you're
also
not my
go
fucking
away.
kid.
Yeah.
Who cares?
But it makes him feel bad.
Yeah.
So
But again, like
better
it
for
shows,
the movie.
Yeah, and it shows that other side to Russell Crowe where he's a softie at heart, and he's just like, I just want this little girl to be happy.
He reflects back to his defining moment where he was saving people, and he wants to be a better man.
Yeah. And like
that's all.
You get that like quick little shot of Gosling's hand where some of the words have been wiped out, so now it just says "you will be happy," and
that gives him the motivation to get the
To
film.
be it's like, this is it, my moment. I will be
my
happy
shining
today.
moment.
And again, like the film rolls into his path, and he's able to fulfill the pinky promise he made his daughter.
He's like, here's my pinky.
Yeah, no, I just love him like laying against that car at the end, like completely exhausted. And he's like, and there's the police.
And then he
He's
lights a cigarette.
trying to light a cigarette.
Again, like the 100th cigarette that he smoked this entire film.
He's doing great.
Oh,
He's doing great.
His lungs are really thanking him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it basically ends from here because it cuts to Gosling and Crowe in a courtroom, and they put this lady on trial, and like technically she wasn't found guilty in the end, and like they were like, oh, too big to fail, whatever.
She gets off. She's
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
money. Yeah.
And like, Crowe's finally drinking for the first time in the movie. And like Gosling has to be the one, like the voice of reason, who comes in and is like, what the hell are you doing?
It flips him around and
Which
lets
is
you see
kinda
it for a
funny.
bit.
But I just love this final exchange because they come up with their slogan, which is the nice guys,
Yes.
and like they have their own pictures.
Like
And he's
the
like,
name of the movie.
he's like, I'm sorry they drew you like a Filipino. And he's like, no, I'd say it's more Mexican. And like, oh my God, I want them to do like a sequel to this so bad.
I was thinking about that like as we sat down to
Yeah.
watch it, I'm like, I really like, what would a sequel look like for them? Like running
Honestly,
the nice
just
guy's
a
business,
just like
there's
another adventure, like another
Yeah.
case for them to solve.
I don't even know if it would need to be one case. I think I would like to see just regular them working together.
Right.
Like not anything crazy that has
Yeah.
to deal with this big money, big stake
Yeah,
stuff.
no, they
but
could be giving traffic
what
citations.
they do for their weekly pay
We are
type
the
Right.
thing.
nice
Like,
guys.
Well, and I feel like it would end up being one of those situations where it starts where you're like, okay, they're trying to like build a business almost, and they're like not doing so hot. They have some low level clients, and then
Right.
they stumble into something huge,
yeah.
and like that.
Yeah, like
it
a
would
big thing
probably,
comes up.
yeah, it would probably lead into
And
something like
to
that.
set it up, you see them do 2 or 3 boring ones where
Right.
Yeah.
they're trying to catch someone cheating on them, and then what they're talking about sets up like something in the back of their mind.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It's like more scenes like in the beginning where it's just like, how long has your husband been missing? It's like, oh, ever since the funeral.
Right.
And
They
you're like-
show the urn.
Yeah, it's like more stupid things like that
Yeah.
until they like stumble upon like some lady just happens to like blurt out this little bit of information and they're like, wait a second,
Wait
Yeah.
a second.
I could solve this.
And then they would have like a falling out and getting back together. It would be a whole
Yeah.
thing.
See,
You could
the
make 2 or
script's
3
Yeah,
already-
see, we
Yeah,
already
yeah.
wrote it for you, Shane
There.
Black.
Yeah.
Like, call us. We're your
Yep.
movie guys.
the nice guys too.
We'll just write it on our own.
Yeah.
Yeah,
fine.
we'll call it the nicer guys. Yeah,
Yeah,
you add
the
like a
nicer
third one into the
guys.
group. Yeah, it's the nicer guys.
This
The
expansion.
And then the third one was the nicest guys.
The
The
guy-
nicest guys.
the guy down on his luck who's
Oh.
just willing to be better.
Yeah, yeah.
I like
yeah.
this.
Just pick 'em
I
up.
like
Yeah,
this already.
seriously.
He adds an element to it.
Yeah.
Right. No, I think we're
And
onto
then-
something here.
If everybody likes the 4th one, he can have a family. We can go into that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No,
Spin-offs
that's the
everywhere.
spin-off.
Everywhere.
The
There's a lot of
nicest
potential.
guy, on his own.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're gonna start the franchise.
Yeah, but I mean,
stay
that-
tuned.
I mean that's basically the nice guys, and
yeah.
I can't recommend this one enough. Like this is seriously one of my favorite comedies.
Well, it's a rare combination of a story worth telling, told well, and also is pretty funny,
Right.
Mhm.
and not so much different. Cause I mean, it was different in a lot of ways, but
Mhm.
they gave you what some movies just do a little bit of,
Yeah.
Right.
and they gave it to you constantly, along with all the other stuff.
Mhm.
Right.
So not only was it, a good watch, that it was exciting, it had a good story, but it was like it kept you involved the whole time.
Right.
Yeah, and as someone who has trouble focusing on stories, this is one that I had no trouble at all because
Right.
it's like comedic when it needs to be, and it's serious when it needs to be, and there's action when there needs to be, and it's never dull.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciate because a lot of times I zone out at movies, and this one I was not zoning out.
You're like, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Locked in.
This is it. No, highly recommend for sure. I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, how did I miss this film?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then finally seeing it, I'm like, okay, now it's part of like the catalog. It's in
Mhm.
the rotation. So
Mhm.
for me, it's like I'll pop it on every once in a while if I want like a good film just to sit down and like space out for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Seriously.
It's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to watch it again actually when we're
Yeah,
done?
I'm-
with this?
I'm-
Okay.
Yeah. Actually,
All right,
let's
let's-
end
I'm
this
just
so we
gonna
can go
watch
watch
it.
it again.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch
All
it
right,
again.
thanks.
All right,
Thanks
see
for
you,
listening.
No, but seriously, any final thoughts for you guys, or I think that pretty much covers it,
Yeah,
right?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, solid. I thought it was hilarious that the main character can't smell.
It's
He's
just
going
And it, like-
smell blind.
it's
and
one of
it-
those quirky traits
Yeah.
that just
And it randomly happens in the middle of the film. He's like, "You can't smell." He's like, "No." He's
And
like, It's like this keeps getting better.
And
Yeah.
then we
Detective
realized
that
that he
can't
couldn't
smell.
smell the gas, which is why his house burned.
Yes.
And his wife died.
Oh,
But
my
we're
Like,
also
what the
like,
fuck?
you,
We're laughing
was
about
funny.
it earlier.
which is kind of nice because they joked about it before they did the series. Like most
Yeah.
most of the
Right.
time, it's
The
the serious thing
first.
happens, and then a half hour later, like, oh, remember when that serious thing happened?
Yeah.
But this one, it flipped it
flipped
on you.
it.
It's like, we're going to make fun of it and then make you feel bad for a little bit.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you're like, oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Oh,
It's like, oh man, that's deeper than I
That's
thought.
deeper than I thought.
way
It's funny.
deeper.
But yeah, I think that'll
But,
just about do it.
You know,
Yeah.
the story about how death and murder and porn made 2 men better dads.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, only one of them was dead, but
Yeah, but
were
the-
they
the other-
co-parenting?
well, the
I
other
think it's gonna lead to
the
that.
other guy
Maybe.
grew because of his interaction with her.
Mhm.
So
He's a
they're
better
both like
person
father
now.
figures.
yeah,
Maybe.
They're all bad people.
yeah, they're all terrible.
Yeah, they killed a couple of people, right?
Yeah, whatever.
It was fine.
It's all
It's like neutral
logistics.
good, maybe.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
It's all
I don't
fine.
know.
It's
all
not
fine.
murder till
I
like
don't
at least
understand.
4.
How long are we gonna mumble until we just
I don't
know?
All right, folks.
Anyway, we'll catch you guys next time. This has been Every Film in the Book. We'll see you later.
Goodbye.
Peace.
Oh yeah, and thank you for coming on the show, Charles.
Thank you.
Thank you all for having me.
I didn't have a
Again.
choice. I'm forced to be here.
So
Yeah, no,
sorry.
you're contractually obligated to be here,
let's
Michael.
try that one more time.
Yeah, no, I'm doing my best. Anyway,
Do it again, Steve.
All right.
Goodbye.
all right,
Do it
we'll
again,
see you
Steve.
guys.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
No
See
having
ya.
any fun.